This podcast was recorded exactly 1 year ago, and now we're back. So, Kyle, tell us about yourself.
Where to begin? I'm Kyle. I think last time we did this podcast, my priority was making YouTube videos, and that's slightly changed since last
Yeah.
time I was here. So, where do I start?
So, I'm going to ask a couple of the same questions from last time, and then we'll talk about what you're doing now. So, who was your inspiration for YouTube?
Jeez. I'm gonna start that question by saying I haven't made a YouTube video in quite a while because
Yeah.
we'll get into like all the stuff I'm doing now and why that's the case. But I think when I started, my answer was like something Minecraft related, wasn't it?
Do you want me to look for it? I'll look for it. Okay.
You can if you want, but I mean, I haven't played Minecraft in a while either.
Same. I haven't played Minecraft in a
change.
long time. Yeah.
I'm still kind of recording content here and there. I just haven't uploaded any of it. I want to try and get back into uploading daily at some point. Not on YouTube, mainly like TikTok and Instagram and maybe YouTube Shorts. Inspiration for that's kind of just other people that document their life on the internet. Like there's this guy that has his agency and he documents like the growth of his agency. He's called Iman, I think is his first name. I can't pronounce his second name. So but he recently dropped like a 1 hour video where it was just 1 hour of like him at 16 and then him now at like 23, and he just filmed his life for those amount of years and the progress in his business and stuff, and I just thought that was
That's
sick.
cool.
So I've started doing that recently. I don't have any intention of uploading that content anywhere yet, but maybe in the future, so we'll see.
Yeah. When you're big, you should definitely like upload it to like and it could go a huge compilation.
Yeah.
So in the podcast, the last one we did, and your inspirations were Tommy In It and Dream back then.
Oh wow, that's interesting.
It's amazing how much has changed, like
Yeah.
gaming to like agency. So
I mean, the start of my channel, like it's sitting at like 2,000 subs right now, and like 98% of that growth is from the Minecraft videos I made near the start. So
yeah, while we're on the topic of like those Minecraft videos, do you kind of like regret making them? Like, do you regret like getting all those inactive subscribers from them?
not really. I mean, if I continued posting regularly now, like if I just decided to be consistent on YouTube starting today, just doing something else, I'd probably be fine because I'd eventually just grow a bigger audience on top of that doing something else. Like, I mean, I'll use Gary Vee for an example. He reviewed wine when he started.
Yeah.
And then when was the last time he made a wine review video? Probably quite a while ago.
Ages ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can always like switch niches and change up what you're doing and stuff. So
Why did you quit those like old Minecraft videos?
it got to a point doing the Minecraft videos where, like I kind of alluded to there, I kind of just didn't want to be stuck in one niche of just doing one thing. Because then the success of my channel was then tied to the success of the game, which Minecraft has a good track record, but like what about 10 years from now where some other game might be the new Minecraft or whatever you want to call it. So then I just started posting literally whatever I wanted, and then that morphed into me doing other things outside of YouTube, and then it just turned into me not doing YouTube for now. Like I said, I might still get back to it, but right now I haven't made a video in a while.
One of the last videos you did on your channel was turning 0 into 1,000 in 30 days. How was that like? Because you only did day 1 and then just stopped like uploading it. So
yes.
Did you do it? Like explain everything.
I can explain. So on YouTube, I only uploaded the video for day 1, but if you go to my Instagram, I think the highlighted story is still there. So instead of documenting it all on YouTube Shorts, I just decided to do it on my Instagram story and pinned it on like the pinned highlighted stories. So all the evidence of me, like just to preface all that, I did complete the challenge. It was added context. It was $0 to $1,000 in 30 days, and I quit my job with no income lined up whatsoever, and just decided I was going to be a freelancer. I had 30 days to do it, and I documented it all on Instagram and managed to get to the $1,000 mark on the 30th day. So I just decided to stop documenting it on YouTube because it was taking too long to make the shorts every day when I needed to spend time actually doing work to get to the $1,000. So it just made sense to keep it on Instagram.
Like, what type of like freelance work were you doing, and like how did you get the clients?
This is a funny story because it kind of leads into exactly what I'm doing now. So let me think. I think the first thing I did was first freelance gig I kind of did was SEO. So I was hired by someone who recently set up their own agency. I think you know the story, Nick.
Yeah, this story is so funny.
So I was hired to do research for YouTube titles that would get the most. It was like search results, I think. So it was like
titles that
rank in search on YouTube. Yeah, so I had to search hundreds of titles.
And the vidIQ score too.
Yeah. It was the vidIQ Chrome extension. So I'd type in hundreds of titles for this video, and the highest score on vidIQ's Chrome extension means like it ranks higher in search and it would probably get more views. So I had like a list of videos I had to do that for, and that lasted about a week because it wasn't a good fit for me. I didn't get much out of it, like financially. So it was like the first gig, it wasn't a great start to the 30 days. So that was like I finished that after a week. I had about 20 days left in the challenge, and I was like, right, that's not a good start. I need to pick up the pace here and do something else.
I remember I did it too for like a day. I was like, no, this is like too much.
I'm not gonna name any names of who the agency was or anything like that. But yeah, it was funny.
Yeah, the person is doing very well now. So yeah, it's impressive.
I speak to him sometimes, but yeah. And then after, well, I'll go into kind of how I started getting all these gigs. So I think I mentioned it in the day one video on YouTube. I was just gonna like network like crazy. So it was every day on Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, and I'd literally just message a ton of people. And I was putting out content on LinkedIn and Instagram quite regularly as well. And I met a few people on LinkedIn, had some like meetings with those. I don't think any of those resulted in any like freelance client work, but I got some connections out of it, so that was cool. And the main one, surprisingly, was actually TikTok though. So it was literally one night I was scrolling on TikTok, literally not even working at all. I was just on the For You page, addicted to TikTok like everyone else is. And I saw this video pop up from this, the video is this teenager that finished high school and all of his friends went to college, and he was like, no, I'm gonna finish high school and then do my own thing. Basically what I was doing. He was trying to set up his own business, and he was like documenting it all on TikTok, right? And I saw it and I was like, that's cool. I can kind of relate to that because I'm like a similar age, all that stuff. So I commented on that video, followed him, commented on a few more as the days went on. He replied to a few of them, followed me, followed each other on Instagram, had a few phone calls, stuff like that. And then one day he just hit me up. I think this might have been just at the end of the 30-day challenge. So none of this counted towards the goal, but it was still like networking to try and make money as a freelancer. So that was the whole point of it. And he just hit me up one day and he was like, I've got this potential client and they need videos done. Can you make some samples? And I was like, yeah, sure. And then I made some samples and I'm still working with him today, like 8 months later.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I was his first hire and now his agency's doing very well. So
are you like editing podcasts? Like, well, what are you doing for that person?
Yep. So the agency is a social media management agency. So the agency as a whole manages podcasts, all the social media, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and we take the full-length podcasts and clip them down into clips for TikTok and YouTube Shorts and Reels. And recently we've started doing full-length podcasts as well. So we edit the clips and the full-length podcasts. So we basically just edit all their content for them and post it all for them. Yeah, I'm a freelancer in this agency, so I don't own the agency or anything. But yeah, that's kind of the work we've been doing recently.
Yeah, that's cool. And then after that, you just like one thing. Did you like keep focusing on that one thing, or did you do some other work for other different people?
Yeah, so it was mainly work in that agency because we started growing so quick that a lot of the work was given to me in the beginning because it was just me and the agency owner. So that was taking up like all of my time. And I mean, I'm still kind of in that situation now, and most of my work is from the agency. I'm talking to a few people now that is outside of that, and it's like separate kind of freelance work. But nothing's been finalized yet. So right now it is still just agency work. It is a lot of it, so I'm always busy.
How do you like keep on getting new clients for like freelance work?
Well, specifically in the agency I'm hired to work in, all of the like client relations stuff isn't really down to me. I'm just hired to edit the content. So there's other people on the team that kind of do the sales meetings and acquire the clients, and then the work's just kind of passed on to me or another editor on the team. So yeah, other stuff like outside of the agency is again just connections. Like people I know, they'll message me and be like, I need this logo designed, or I'm way too busy, I can't have the time to edit these videos, can you help me? And that's kind of how it starts.
I was like towards the end of the 30 days, you said you hit it on the last day. Like, did you think you weren't going to make it? Like, how was it like on the last couple of days? Like, did you feel more pressure, or what was it like?
The only time I thought I wasn't gonna like finish the challenge successfully was a couple days in after that SAO situation where I left that and I was like, I have nothing else lined up. I don't really know what to do after this. Then after that, I kind of felt confident that it was gonna go well. I don't know why. I think I can't really explain it. I kind of didn't really have a thought in my head where it was like, this might not work. Because I think I got to like, I want to say day 18 or 20, and I was at like $800 and something. So it was like, it might have been 15, so it might have been like halfway through the challenge, and I was at just over $800. So I felt confident that if I could do that halfway through the challenge, I could get an extra 200 and something or 100 and something in the other half, and I did.
What was like the biggest struggle you had, like trying to get to the house in the 30 days?
It was probably just the uncertainty of everything at the time, because like right now I'm in a position where I don't need to worry about like where my next client's coming from, but back then I really did, because it was just like one-off like gigs here and there, and it's hard to just continuously do that for 30 days without either burning out or just feeling immense pressure all the time. So that was probably the hardest thing.
Back to your YouTube channel, you made a video like saying like you were gone and stuff like that, and kind of saying you're going to come back, and it's been like 3 months and still no new video. So
I can explain.
What happened?
I can explain. Yeah, so literally the day after making that video and uploading it, I recorded a second video. I'm not gonna say the name of the video or the idea. It still might go on YouTube, but I filmed it, made the thumbnail for it. I got like all the B-roll and stuff for the whole video, and then ended up, I think I just took on more work in the agency and pushed everything else to one side and never ended up going back to it. And I still need to go back to it. So I need to make a note literally after this podcast to actually edit the video, because it's just sat on my hard drive somewhere. Like all of it's done apart from the editing. That's all I need to do is the editing.
So you will come back to YouTube at some point.
Oh yeah, I'm sure at some point I will, because I have that video lined up, and eventually I'll just get the urge to post a video and I'll be back on YouTube. But right now, I don't know. I need to edit that video though.
So I remember, I think it was before 30 days, you kind of like into like Blender and doing stuff like that. How's that going?
That was a really big thing for a while. I'm still doing it. So it was, let me think. It was like August last year. I was just like, I kind of want to
around a year ago.
learn
like,
3D.
Exactly a year ago.
Yeah, I was like, I kind of want to learn 3D. So I downloaded Blender. I watched a tutorial on how to make a donut in 3D and failed miserably. Gave up for about 2 weeks. And then I was like, no, I'm going to try again. And then kind of just stuck with it and spent the next like 10 months making CGI art, which was really fun. I'm still doing it. I just haven't done it as much recently. So I'm going to try and get back into that as well. You'll see a trend here where there's like a million things I want to do and I just can't do them all at the same time, and it's really frustrating.
And you like say you're gonna come back to it and you come back like a year later.
Yeah, I feel like the 3D CGI stuff's different though, because I built an audience on Twitter doing it, and I sold some of my work as NFTs, which we might be able to get into later on in the episode. But yeah, set up a Twitter account, posted my art on it. Some people decided it was good enough to buy, and yeah, that's kind of one of the big reasons I want to get back into it, because I haven't really left. I just haven't opened Blender for a little while. But people like value my work to the point where they bought it. So if I just stop doing it, it's gonna devalue the work they've purchased previously. So
yeah, I remember I saw you doing it and I was like, oh, this seems easy. So I did like 3 things. I had fun, but it was just so annoying. It just took so long to like render and everything. And I didn't understand most of the tutorials, so I would spend like a whole week and like thinking. Because like the best tutorials didn't have like a voice. Like the guy wasn't talking at all. It was so annoying. Yeah, I did like 5 things. I did like a dream like waving, Minecraft Steve waving.
Yeah, I saw that.
I did a couple things and I just like, I don't know why I stopped. I just like randomly stopped.
It's literally like you get past the 6 to 8 weeks of feeling like you'll never be able to do this ever, and eventually you start picking up little bits and it just gets easier and easier, and then yeah, there's less incentive to stop doing it once you're kind of more comfortable with it, and then you can start pushing yourself in other areas of CGI and things like that. So
I don't understand how people like do that without tutorials, because like there's like so much like options on Blender. It's so annoying.
I feel like you could probably get away with that with like Photoshop. You just end up in some random menu in Photoshop and you can figure something out if you really looked hard enough.
Yeah.
But Blender 3D CGI, it's way harder. Kind of have to know what you want to do and then specifically search for a tutorial about that thing to kind of understand what you're doing.
There was like, I remember I was trying to make like a ball move and like a loop. I couldn't do it at all. It was like the ball was going the other way, and it was like I did everything. It was going the wrong way, and it was so annoying. So I remember I just like left it how it was, and it still turned out good. And like, but it just looked very plain, and the turtle looked very different. So like, yeah, it was like it was weird. I'll put the animation I've talked about on the screen right now. Yeah. You talked about NFTs. I clearly
Yes.
remember you like buying an NFT and like selling it again, and like a day later, like the price went up.
Yeah.
Like, can you talk about that? Like, how was that like? And
Yeah. That was very early in my NFT journey, I guess, if you want to call it that. Yes, I just started making 3D art at that point and discovered NFTs kind of at the same time. And I saw people buying and selling NFTs and making a stupid amount of money. So I saw these zombie NFTs, the dead fellas. I don't know if you want to put those on the screen as well.
yeah.
And I bought one for like $200. It's like fairly cheap for a new NFT project. And then like 30 days later, it went up to like, I think it was like 800 by the time I sold. No, it was 1,500 because I remember posting about it. And I thought I was a genius. I made like 700% profit in a month. And I was like, wow, if I just keep doing this every couple of weeks, I'll be a millionaire in no time. And then I swiftly realized that was not the case because I took that profit, bought another NFT, and then that completely tanked. And I
Was
lost
it like
all the profit.
the NFT you buy was like the whale?
Yeah, it was some like cartoon whales. We don't need to go into the details, but basically I sold the zombie NFT, the dead fellas, too early because then they went higher in price, and then the profit I did make vanished. So there's other parts of NFTs, like I stopped trading the profile pictures entirely a while ago. Started buying art from people I just met on Twitter that were really good artists, and some of those have held their value very well and became pretty good investments. But I just buy those when I like the look of them. I don't kind of buy them to flip them like the profile pictures.
Do you so do you currently own like NFTs?
I own many NFTs, too many, some would say. Yeah.
And what do you do with them? Do you just have them like there or like?
Yeah, so it's like proof of ownership, right? So if someone knew my wallet, they could just go in and see everything I own. And we don't need to go into the details of how NFT blockchain technology works, but
Yeah.
I haven't looked in my own wallet in a while, but I do still own profile picture NFTs, mainly because they lost a lot of their value and no one's actually buying them anymore. So I've kind of just held all the way to the bottom. But yeah, I'm probably still going to continue buying NFTs at some point.
Yeah, I just like, I don't understand, like, they're just there. You can like use them for something, like collectibles, yeah, but like, the only way to like use them is like collectibles or if they have like some perks. So
yeah, it's like I kind of see the art side of NFTs as like the traditional art world, but more secure, because like the traditional art world, you can't just be a nobody, make a piece of art, get it in a gallery and sell it. And even if you do sell it, it ends up in storage and there's no definitive proof that someone owns it, apart from like a certificate of ownership, which can be forged like any other real life painting can be forged as well. But on the blockchain, it specifically says that you own it. And the profile picture side of things, the main part of that is like digital identity, right?
Yeah,
so it's like Instagram recently had an update where they allow you to make avatars for your profile. Snapchat's had it for years. It's like another way to identify yourself on the internet in a cool way. But a lot of people kind of brush it to the side because of the financial aspect, like who's going to spend so much money on this. But there'll be some projects in the future where money isn't even part of it. Like I can't remember the name, but there's one where they're like, well, a lot of them have been free mints where you don't even pay money to get the NFTs because it's not about the money, it's about digital identity for some of these projects.
Yeah. While we're on the topic of NFTs, you mentioned before that you kind of like sold your own NFTs.
I did.
So tell us about that. Like, how did that go?
Yeah, so I was doing 3D art. I got into NFTs. I discovered NFTs. The next logical step is to put them together. So I made a collection of like these dreamy looking 3D landscape type things. Put like a trailer together and put them on OpenSea as a collection. It was 10 pieces for 0.1 ETH, which at the time was $250, I believe. And they sold out in just under 24 hours, which was nuts at the time because sales just happened immediately. And I was like I remember like literally crying when it happened. Like 10 minutes into announcing that I made the collection, I think 4 or 5 had sold, which was nuts because I just really wasn't expecting it.
How do you get people to buy them? Like, how did like people like find the collection?
Entirely on Twitter. So I'd set up a Twitter about 4 or 5 months before dropping the collection, or 3 or 4 maybe. So I was just building an audience like every day on there with like before selling anything. I was like building up trust through that.
What were you
trying
like
to-
posting?
Just my own art, and like everything to do with NFTs is on Twitter. If you want to get into it, that's the place to be. So it was like just kind of getting involved with the different communities, making new artist friends, stuff like that, and making sure there was like enough trust built up, and my skills, like my 3D skills, were actually good enough to put a collection out before trying to market and sell it.
That's cool. And what are you doing with that Twitter account now, and like with your NFT collections? Like, what's going on? What's going on with it now?
I still use it. I still go on Twitter. I still engage with people. I haven't made art in a while, so I haven't been able to post much of that. But I've made other collections since then, which have also done quite well. There was some like competition I did a while ago where the winner gets a free NFT that I put in my next collection. Which, if I continue like marketing the collection and becoming more valuable as an artist, that'll just be like a free piece of art that they could eventually sell for hopefully a decent amount of money in the future if they choose to do so. But yeah, I'm still planning on creating art and minting some of my work in those collections at some point. I think he muted again.
So is the NFTs like you doing it coming back actually, or coming back like your YouTube channel within like 3 months?
Don't throw shots at me like that. But the difference is I actually left YouTube consciously to focus on the agency work I was doing. Like I haven't left 3D art and NFTs. I've been a little distant from it. That's the slight difference in my head right now.
Yeah. I said that mainly to just like make fun of you. So I forgot to ask this question before while we were in the topic of the 30 days thing.
Yep.
But why did you actually decide to quit your job and do the
Why did I decide?
$1,000? Yeah, like why did you quit your job? And or maybe you could have done it like on the side of your job. Or, that makes sense.
Yeah. If I go back a bit further, it was early 2021, I believe. I had my own agency with a co-founder, and I was really burnt out from that. Like I just wasn't enjoying it. We had barely any clients. So financially, it wasn't a good idea at the time, and we just decided that wasn't a good idea, and we just like parted ways. So then I just got like a retail job. I was working at Aldi after that, and that lasted 3 months. And by the time I got to, the third month at Aldi, that was like 10 times worse than running my own agency. So I was even more burnt out. I burned out, and then I burned out again. And I just couldn't see myself working there any longer. It wasn't me. I'm a creative person. I like to do many creative things at the same time. So restocking shelves many times in a week, hours on end, not allowed my phone.
Yeah.
It was some people like it, some people don't. I was very stressed out. Don't know how I can work there for longer than 3 months. So I literally just handed my notice in. I was like, I'm not working here anymore. And then I think I saw someone else do a similar challenge where they wanted to make $1 million in a year, and they had no plan either because COVID like wiped their previous career out. And I was like, well, if they can do it, why can't I do it? On a smaller scale, but
yeah. Like yeah, I can imagine just like stocking shelves. That's like so boring.
I mean, I don't regret doing it because it kind of put things into perspective, and now I enjoy what I'm doing more because I can compare it to the worst job. But the reason I quit was because I was just even more burnt out and wasn't enjoying it. So
yeah. Like you mentioned burnout. I've been doing YouTube for like 7-8 years without stopping, and I hadn't like experienced burnout once, and I kind of like experienced a little bit of burnout. Not a lot for like the first time, like making videos with just it was like podcast burnout, not with YouTube in general. Well, it was editing. Like I was like so tired of editing. I didn't want to edit anymore. So like just because I got like burnout to not edit was like I stopped like making videos for a while. I didn't stop, but like I stopped doing it. I stopped doing it a lot. And that was like the first time I experienced burnout, and like now I got like a burst of motivation, and I'm back making like consistently podcasts.
I mean, you've been on YouTube for like what, more than half of your life?
Yeah.
How old are you again?
I turned 14 in 2 months.
Crazy. And you've been on YouTube for 8 years. It's nuts. You're eventually gonna start feeling like some of the process is a bit tedious after a while. Like you edit videos every day for 8 years, and it's no surprise you're eventually gonna get sick of editing at some point.
Yeah, obviously. And like the process of editing is so long, and recently I've been taking so much longer to edit videos. And I feel like I've also become like, in my mind, a perfectionist when I'm like doing videos. So like, it's not perfect, I don't like it, but like made it even worse.
Yeah, that's relatable. I've edited hundreds of videos since starting the agency I'm working in now, and there's been some clips where like it literally like a 60-second clip, and I'll spend like an hour and a half on this tiny section that someone's gonna watch for 3 seconds of this 60-second clip, and trying to make it perfect, trying to make the subtitles on point, trying to make them in the right place, adding keyframes to animate them, adding like fire animations and green screen effects and all this random shit that like no one really focuses on. But when you're the editor actually sitting down editing it, you feel like it's really important, and it's hard. It is very hard to not do that. But recently, I'll just quickly mention this, something that's helped with me, because I make so many clips that I kind of need to do them fairly quickly, is the 80-20 rule, where like 80% of the work takes 20% of the time. The last 20%, all the details take 80% of the time, and those 20%, it's not really that important if it comes down to it. So I've slowly tried reducing that 20% where I focus all my time on, and just seeing if anyone actually cares if that 20% isn't there. And I've recently found that literally no one notices. So I'm saving a bunch of time right now in my editing process.
Yeah, I decided to like make a new channel because like just doing the podcast was kind of boring, because that was all I was doing, like just the podcast for a while, because I stopped making other videos. So like 2 days ago, I decided to like start making like random shorts, and it's I was having a lot more fun than doing the podcast by doing that, and it's doing good. I really got a short with 1,000 views, so yeah.
Nice. Yeah, that's the fun part about being creative, right? If something gets tedious, you can just throw in something else, and it makes it more refreshing. So you're not just doing the same thing every day.
Exactly. Yeah. Like I was going to ask some other questions that I can't ask, because a lot of them are like about like your like dream videos and like stuff like that, and a lot of them are privated, and like those videos are like amazing. So like, why did you like decide to private them?
Yeah, it was like right at the start of my YouTube channel, where I was just making random stuff that I was interested in at the time, and I think it was just one of those spur of the moment decisions where I was like, I don't want this on my channel anymore. I want to make other types of content. It'll ruin my my views on other content. It'll bring in subscribers I don't want, all that kind of stuff. But I'm so like scatterbrained as a creative kind of person that I just think of loads of different ideas every day, and sometimes one of those ideas is to private those videos. Sometimes I want to bring them back, and the mindset behind that is like it shouldn't matter what's on my channel. It's kind of just like, I don't know what the right word is, like a place to see what my life's been like since I started YouTube kind of thing. So like the niche doesn't really matter. But then there's other times where I'm like, the strategy part of it is like, no, but I need to niche down to grow my audience. So there's like two sides to it, and I kind of switch between the two sometimes.
I did a lot too, because like on my channel I have like 1,000 videos like, in total, probably, or like 800, 700, something crazy. And I like sometimes randomly decide to like private all of them that are on a podcast, like put all of them public. So right now, 2 weeks ago, I had all of them public, and now I have all of them. Like, I have all of them private from when I started the podcast. So from my first podcast and up, all the videos I made, like in between, from my last podcast and my first podcast, are private. And then the other ones are just like there. Because like,
I was just gonna say, why did you decide to do that? Was it the same reason? Or?
It's just like, my mind is like, oh, I want to private the video now, so it's like private. So yeah, and a lot of it is because of the way it looks. Sometimes I like how it looks with other videos like there, and sometimes I don't. Yeah.
I go through a similar thing where it's like I'll take Instagram for example. Sometimes I want to make my Instagram page the most aesthetically pleasing thing someone's ever looked at in their life. But then there's other times where I kind of think, what's the point? It's better to just get content out there, and as long as it's what I want to be posting, it doesn't really matter what it looks like. And there's someone that actually, where was I going with that? I just completely lost my train of thought. Anyway, fuck.
I'm actually putting the videos public right now, so once I'm in between.
You're going in between the two mindsets as we speak.
Yeah.
Let me get back on my train of thought.
And now it like, so if you go to my channel, it looks like so messy.
Let me check. You've got like 4 or 5 different channels, don't you?
I now have 2. I have like tons of others that I just have like with 20,000 subscribers look there that I don't use.
Is your main one the Nicocast one with 1.9 thousand subs?
Yeah. So if you look, there's like Fall Guys videos and like a vlog,
Yeah, I saw that.
tutorial, a podcast.
The thumbnail tutorial, that's hilarious. The thumbnail on your recent podcast episode looks really good, by the way.
Thank you. I actually didn't like that thumbnail. I was like,
Did you not?
I don't know what to do with that thumbnail. So I just went to Canva and like chose like a random like template.
The color scheme works well though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
'cause
so
you have
many.
so many videos.
And they're also random. There's like Minecraft cookie trick to Beluga, man
Yeah.
speedrunning YouTube. Man. It's like,
And then you interviewed Speed randomly in there as well.
yeah.
That was a real interview, right? Because I remember seeing a comment saying it was
No,
fake.
no, yeah, it was a real interview. Like it actually happened.
That's crazy.
I still get like process that happens. It like,
Yeah.
and it has only 1,000 views. I don't know how it's gonna have more views. It's like speed, like everything within, blows up.
Maybe try re-uploading them now and see if they do any better.
I don't want to re-upload it. I started like making clips and like putting them. The clips don't blow up too. The clips get like 5,000 views.
Yeah, the D's nuts joke. Yeah.
And the thing about Speed is like he's so random. He would randomly bark in the middle of the podcast, and it's like
Yeah. Like, is it
I
a
went to
character?
like I don't know, like because like when I talked to him, he was like a very chill, but he still like barked and all that stuff like that. Made like the D's nuts joke like.
It's either a really elaborate character that he's very good at keeping up, or he's just got like the most severe case of Tourette's, and it just
Yeah,
sounds
like-
and looks hilarious.
Thank you so much for coming on the podcast. This really means a
Thank
lot, and I'll see you in a year.
Yes, sir. I'm excited. Thank you for having me on.